Report by Chat Sports. I am Nic Rohloff, and on today's show, we got two topics. Move Bam Adebayo to the 4. I know a lot of Heat fans have called it. Bam in the past has said it himself. And then we'll also talk some Kel'el Ware. Could he win Rookie of the Year in his first season as a Miami Heat player? And it kind of sparked me to try to come up with a nickname for this duo. These two hopefully are going to be your starting front court of the center or the future, with Ware at center, Bam at the 4. But I was trying to think of a nickname. And I need your help because I don't really have the creative juices in my body to come up with one right now. So drop a nickname for this duo down in the comment section. I'm going to scroll through and read all of them today, and I'm going to pick the best one to feature on tomorrow's show. So drop a nickname down below. All right, let's talk about the logistics of moving Bam Adebayo to the 4, though, because, as you know, a lot of Heat fans have wanted Bam to move to the 4 due to his undersized frame for a center, only being 6'9", 6'10" in height. And we've seen this work out pretty well at Team USA. Now, granted, it has been with the best players in the world and in the NBA on their team, but we've seen this duo right here be absolutely dominant between Bam and Anthony Davis. And we talked about it on yesterday's show about potentially trading for Anthony Davis because, well, it's worked so well at the Olympics. Why not try to swing a deal to get him on the actual Heat roster? Now, that's likely not going to happen, but the idea of having another big-sized individual next to Bam in the front court that can alleviate some of Bam's responsibilities in terms of defending centers, being the only person pounding the glass. Like, the Heat have had such an undersized team for so long, not even just Bam being undersized, but the entire roster, often running Haywood Highsmith at the 4, Caleb Martin. Like, it's been an issue in terms of having enough size in the Heat's front court, trying to defend, finish out possessions with rebounds. But now with Nikola Jovic coming alongside the team, Kel'el Ware being the draft pick, maybe it's time where we can start to finally talk about Bam moving from the 5 to the 4. I've always been skeptical of doing this, though, because Bam hasn't always been able to space the floor offensively, which I believe, if you brought in a center, could really clog up the offense. But with him becoming more of a three-point shooter at the end of last season, but also showcasing his advanced three-point shot in the Olympics, making 3 threes just a week ago in one of the showcase games, it's becoming more and more easier for me to justify moving Bam from the 5 to the 4. And I mentioned the three-point shooting from a year ago. These are the exact numbers. It's still a really low volume, and I think we have to take that into consideration. But I'm just at least happy he started to take some in the final 15, 20 games of the regular season a year ago. And in those 15, 20 games, when he started to feel more confident shooting the 3-ball, this is where he fared in terms of where he was shooting from. It's pretty clear to me that he's not that comfortable of a shooter from the left side of the floor, at least to this point, only shooting 5 threes on the left side, going 1 of 5. But on the top of the key is where he did most of his work on the pick and pop and trail techniques, bringing the ball up and shooting it. He shot 8 of 24 from the top of the key, which is 33.3%. A little bit below league average. League average last season was about 34, 35%, so it's not terrible. But he was really good from the right side. 3 of 6 from the corner. 3 of 7 from the right wing. Obviously incredibly low volume, but you see the efficiency metrics are kind on that right side of the floor. So if he ups those numbers and gets the volume up on his three-point shooting, but is able to continue that efficiency, shoot 35 to 37% from 3, and actually make defenses have to guard him out there rather than daring him to shoot it, then we can have a really, really good discussion on Bam becoming a 4 for this team long term. Still has a long ways to go, but like I said, if he increases the volume, keeps the efficiency at least close to the same, and shoots anywhere between 35 and 37% on 2.5, 3 shots a game from beyond the arc, then we're going to be in a really good spot for Bam's offensive growth, and he'll likely be averaging 22, 23 points a game as well. So what say you? We're going to continue this conversation, but a little check-in, if you will. Should Bam get moved to the 4 for this Heat team? Type Y for yes or type N for no. Get your votes down in the comment section. Listen, Bam has the size of a 4. Let's just not call it what it is. Like, at the NBA Combine, when he was coming out of Kentucky for the 2017 NBA Draft, he measured in with a 6'10 height and a 7'3 wingspan. That wingspan to height ratio is pretty damn elite, which is why Bam is able to be such an impact defender and be able to switch, grab rebounds, and play above his position and above his height because he's got the long arms and he's also really, really strong and athletic. So that really helps. But the size in terms of height is a power forward. And we've often mentioned that there are some people that play the 3, play the 4, that are the same height as Bam, who obviously plays center. Like Jovic is the same height, if not taller, than Adebayo. Kevin Durant is taller than Bam Adebayo. Giannis is as big or taller than Adebayo. Like some of these guys that are playing the 4 for other teams around the league are taller than Bam, but Bam is getting the responsibilities of moving to the 5. And Bam hasn't always been happy about that. He has been very outspoken in the past and has been on the record stating that he believes that he is best fit to be a 4 in the NBA. Just how he feels, but he is so good at what he does and understands that he has to play the 5 in this Heat offense to where he does it and does it at an elite level because I believe he's the 3rd best center in the NBA without a question. It goes Jokic, Embiid, Bam. I think you can't really debate that at this point in the NBA stages. But when you think about Bam's long-term trajectory and how he finishes his career, I think it's beneficial for him to move to the 4 and bring in a 5 that can space the floor alongside Bam, but also provide some more rim protection, which allows Adebayo to be that roaming, switching defensive chess piece that Eric Spoelstra wants him to be. But the question is, if that actually does end up happening, who will become the Miami Heat starting center and who will be the 5? Nikola Jovic is probably too thin to do that, and he's probably not as physical enough to play center, but maybe that's where Kel'el Ware comes into play, who we'll talk about here in just a second. But first, I got to show some love to our sponsor on today's show, which is the #1 ticketing app on the market. That is Game Time. Whether you want to go to an MLB game during the summer, a summer concert in Miami, a comedy show, it does not matter. Game Time is the best place to grab your tickets, no matter where you are. It's not just Miami. Could be in New York, could be in California, could be in Montana. Don't matter. Game Time's going to have you covered because they have the best, I guess, attributes, like perks, if you will. Like they got the lowest price guaranteed. They have all-in pricing, which means you will see how much the ticket will actually cost you when you're scrolling through and seeing your ticket rather than getting hit with hidden fees at the end of checkout. They also let you see the exact vantage point, so you're not going to get bamboozled by having a horrible seat when you really thought you had a good one. Like if you went to a Marlins game, you'll know if you're sitting behind the pole or not or having an obstructed view. So get your tickets today through Game Time, and we're actually getting you guys $20 off your first purchase. When you download the Game Time app, you have to create an account and use code CHATSPORTS to get $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply, but again, make sure you create that account and redeem code CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, to get $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, let's talk about Kel'el Ware now, because after his Heat NBA Summer League debut, we saw enough flashes and potential to say, well, ideally, Kel'el Ware is your starting center of the future, and it is what a lot of Heat fans have been excited to see out of the first-round pick from Indiana. But I have been on record stating this myself, and I am going to stick with my guns here. As much as Kel'el Ware was fun to watch, as good as he was in the pick-and-roll lob threat, protecting the rim, getting rebounds at times, I just don't think he is ready to be a starting center in the NBA as a rookie. I don't think that's a knock on the kid either. Like, I think we have to understand that most rookies coming into the league are not ready to be starters right away. It takes a very select few to be that dominant and impactful right away. Like Derek Lively for the Mavericks last year was an incredible addition after being a lottery pick from Duke, and guess what? He was still their backup center for most of the year. Like, I don't think it's an issue to have Ware be your backup center for all of year one while he gets used to the NBA, is adding strength, adding better conditioning, and getting more accustomed to the NBA game, and then maybe he becomes your starting center during the 25-26 season. I don't think you need to rush it for Kel'el Ware, but there is no doubt that the future is bright for the young 7-footer from Indiana. Like I said, I think he is the starting center of the future for this team, and you can move Bam to the 4. I just don't think you need to rush it, ease him into NBA life. Don't throw him into the fire where he has to guard people that have been in the NBA at that center spot that have already been here for 4 or 5 years. Like, for example, if Kel'el Ware had to try to guard like a Steven Adams, a Jonas Valanciunas, I get it. I picked two massive bruisers and maybe the most physical centers in the NBA, but that would be an absolute disaster for him to try to fight for position and guard them inside and fight on the glass just due to him not having enough physicality and strength. But Ware was fantastic, right? During Summer League, we mentioned it, helped the Heat win Summer League championship, and he was the main reason why. Was on the first team all Summer League. Thought he really could have won MVP if we're going to be honest, because in the 6 games at Las Vegas, he averaged 18 points, 8 boards, 1.5 blocks, and shot 62% from the field. Started off hot from beyond the arc, shooting 40% from 3, but that came down a little bit to 30%, but it's clear that his shot form is there. And when Kel'el Ware actually misses three-point shots, or really any jumpers for that matter, it's never wavering off target. It's never missing left, right, hitting backboard first on the left side or right side of the rim. It's usually because he's either coming up short or a little bit too long on his shot. So the accuracy is there. He just needs to dial in the distance, if you will, and that will come with more strength conditioning and being able to handle more bumps and physicality in the NBA. We're going to talk about Kel'el Ware and what he can do for this Heat team this season and what his goals are in just a second, but make sure you are subscribed to the channel because we have daily content here at the Heat Report, watch parties, rumors, trade news, talking ball like this today with Ware and Bam. We have you covered with everything you need on the Miami Heat, so hit that sub button. One thing I do like about Kel'el Ware is that he wants to be an immediate impact for this Heat team. And now every rookie is going to want to say that and be that, but Ware actually hopped on the OG's podcast. If you haven't checked them out, I implore any Heat fan to do that. It's hosted by Udonis Haslem and Mike Miller. They share stories from their Heat days as well as get people on for interviews where they've had Mario Chalmers before. They've had Michael Beasley. And they had Kel'el Ware during Summer League as the two were down in Las Vegas. And they asked Ware a series of things about his draft prep, his workouts with Miami, his expectations, his goals. And he shared his 3 personal goals for this year. And I actually really like them. Now, I would have loved to see him say be an impact player and help the Heat win a playoff series or get to the finals. Like, that would have been nice. But at least if he stated personal, he said he wants to be in the Rising Stars game, which I think is very fair. We saw Jaime Jaquez Jr. be there last season. He wants to be in the Rookie of the Year race, and he wants to make one of the All-NBA defensive teams. Now, the last one he said is probably pretty lofty and unlikely, but I like that he wants to be that type of impact player on the defensive side of the floor. And I know Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley are going to like that thought process from Kel'el Ware as well. But when we talk about the Rookie of the Year race, I did find this interesting. I'm not telling you to go bet, and I'm not telling you to go spend your hard-earned money betting on Kel'el Ware. Not doing that. But plus 3,500 for Kel'el Ware to win Rookie of the Year is kind of great value. It is. It is. Like, if we're going to be honest here, folks, this year might be the one year where there is like 15 different people that can win Rookie of the Year. It wouldn't shock me if Reed Sheppard won it. It wouldn't shock me if Kel'el Ware won it. If he ended up being someone who is either coming off the bench or started and averaged 10 points and 8 rebounds and was a key piece like Derek Lively in the Heat's success, like that wouldn't shock me. There's no standout rookie. Do I think Zachary Reese-Sachet or Alex Sarr is going to win it? Probably not. If I had to put my money, it would be on Bub Carrington, the guard that is going to be for the Washington Wizards, or Dalton Knecht in the Lakers system, because I know those two are going to get a lot of shots up and have a guaranteed role offensively, and we know offensive stats really drive these awards. But for having the tied for 14th best odds, I think Kel'el Ware is a little undervalued here. Now, those odds were on DraftKings. I don't know if you guys can play it wherever you're watching from, but if you can, I don't know, man. $10 to win $350. Is that my math right there? I think it is. Yeah, 10 to win $350 on plus 3,500. Well, you know what? I'm going back to New York soon on vacation. It's legal to bet there. I'm going to little spread some ching on it myself. But I do think Ware's going to be an impact player for Miami this year. Don't know if he's going to start, but I think he's going to have a pivotal role for this Heat team. All right, that's going to do it for today's show. If you haven't already, follow me on Twitter at Nic_Rohloff. Talking Heat basketball every day over there, just like the YouTube streets. And if anything ever happens with Miami, I'll have you covered first on my Twitter before we come over and make a video. So make sure you follow me over there. As always, folks, see you tomorrow with another show. Go Heat.